So, you know when you're watching your favorite show, say My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, and you sit there watching it and you like it or you dislike it, but do you ever ask the question why? Well, I do sometimes, and you know, when I've been watching the episodes of My Little Pony recently, I've actually come up for quite an interesting reason why I enjoy it. So, I thought I'd share that with you all. Anyways, cue intro music. How girly is My Little Pony, and how girly should My Little Pony be? Now, before I jump into these questions, I first want to make one thing absolutely clear. The word girly is not derogatory by nature. There's two definitions of it, as I pulled from thefreedictionary.com. One is A, relating to characteristics of girls, young women, or traditional femininity. That is what I mean. Focus on that. I'm not using it as a derogatory term. In fact, I'm quite supportive of the feminine sides, and when I say the word girly throughout this presentation, note that when I say that word girly, I'm referring to the more female aspects of this show, the more feminine, and this is more equally important as some of the other things. So, with that out of the way, why am I choosing this topic? It's not that long of a story, but in case you haven't known, like, Season 5 is out! Watch it! And you know, I was watching Season 5, and all of a sudden this video came out. Make new friends, but keep Discord. The 7th show, and it's been like one of the ones that's been hyped to death, and people love it, but do I like it? Did I like it? And the answer is no! I didn't like it, but that's just my opinion. Don't worry about it too much, but I was worrying about it. It's like, why don't I like this episode? It feels like it's missing something, but what is it? I mean, it's not the humor, but what's missing? What's missing? And I couldn't figure it out, and none of the analysts were doing it for me. So, and I thought I'd think about it, and then I figured it out. It doesn't have the MLP vibe. Vibrations episode. But anyways, what is the MLP vibe? And or is like the MLP feeling? What is this when we're talking about it? Is it subjective? Well, the answer is actually no. It's actually tone. We're talking about the tone of My Little Pony. So, and tone is actually something we're supposed to analyze in a literary sense. So this is perfect for My Little Pony. Why haven't any analysts talked about tone yet? I don't know. But anyways, if we want to look at My Little Pony, what is the general tone of My Little Pony? Well, if we look at this image from the outside perspective, we might think it's girly, frivolous, and shallow. But anyone who's actually seen the show, calling it frivolous is, you know, just a bunch of schist. Oh, actually, when we look at the tone of My Little Pony, and we analyze it episode by episode, and we ask ourselves, what is the tone of this episode? We get words more like sweet, sinister, sassy, creepy, silly, hysterical, and it's the complete opposite of what we would expect. So, what is the tone of My Little Pony? I mean, it looks colorful, it's brightly colorful, it feels girly, but is it girly? What is this tone? Well, if I had to describe it in 3 words, I would choose the following. The tone of the narrative of My Little Pony is epic, heartfelt, and, yes, girly. And I want to put big emphasis on this girly aspect and tone of the show. I mean, sure, we all love this epic battle with Twilight Sparkle on the moment following it where she gives up her magic for her friends. And I mean, those are heartfelt and really epic moments, but do we really appreciate them as much without these girly moments from all the seasons in between? I mean, think about it. I mean, the tone of MLP Femme, I would say, is a juggling act in between the girly tones and the epic tones and the heartfelt vibes. I mean, we have to have all 3 of these. The girliness brings out how epic it is, and the epic makes the girliness all the more hilarious, and the heartfelt combines both so well. I mean, the 3 of these things working together give the show contrast and balance. And I mean, with these 3 things mixed into the ring, we have a unique show that's irresistible. But I want to point out with just Twilight Sparkle here. I mean, in the beginning of the show, Twilight Sparkle hated the whole friendship is magic thing. I mean, she was strongly opposed to it, even saying,
all the ponies in this town are crazy!
So we can see that Twilight is kind of the opposite of the whole girly side of the things. So is the show is kind of, in a sense, by endorsing Twilight as the protagonist, is kind of making fun of all the girliness. It has a more sane, reasonable, intelligent character as the lead, and the rest of it is just kind of funny, and it's just kind of forcing Twilight to accept the girliness. So in this say, it's brilliant because both the show celebrates girliness and friendship, but at the same time, though, it makes fun of it. It's a really effective use of the girliness aspect in the show, and it's balanced out by the epic and the heartfelt to make a really outstanding show. So, how girly is My Little Pony? Well, it's super girly, and at the same time, it's not girly at all, because it's this balance in between these three things, the girly, the heartfelt, and the epic. So, what's the problem? Well, the problem is this next question I posed to you, which is, how girly should My Little Pony be? Well, let's look at the seasons first of all. And season 1 is probably the most girly season of the entire show, featuring the second episode, which is the girliest episode in my opinion. But at the same time, we also have like the Grand Galloping Gala arc, featuring the Ticketmaster suited for success and the best night ever. And these episodes are they're more heartfelt than you would think, but it uses girliness as a heartfelt tool to encourage that. And like Suited for Sex, as stated by Lauren Faust, was probably one of the best episodes in the entire show. But it uses this girliness to draw forward the plot and the narrative. At the same time, on the other end, where it's just kind of girl overreacting to things like bridal gossip, fall weather friends, a dog and pony show, bird in the hoof, green isn't your color. In this case, like, the characters overreact in a girly kind of way that teaches a lesson, and it's brilliant, and it's funny to watch. So it's girly, but it's glorious as well. So, like, it's this perfect little balance of, in this case, the girly aspects and the heartfelt aspects. We haven't got too much epic by this point, but that changes next season with the introduction of Discord and Queen Chrysalis. And I mean, the best way to put these characters is they totally take girliness and flip it on its side. So, essentially, they provide contrast and juxtaposition. And by putting these epic characters next to these girly plots and characters, they make the girly show epic. And it's quite interesting and entertaining to watch. But I think we still have to get to the point. It's still a girly show even in Season 2. I mean, look at episodes like Hots and Hooves Day, A Friend Indeed, Putting Your Hoof Down. Yeah, guys, they're girly episodes. Don't forget it. So, do you like it or not? That's the question. I mean, I watched the season in order, so I had to get used to this girliness, and I loved it. So, but looking at Season 3, it kind of changes just a little bit, but we still have kind of a girly premise. I mean, too many Pinkie Pies? Fun, fun, fun. It's girly. One bad apple? Well, it's the fight against the mean girls, like Babseed. Yeah, it's girly. Magic Duel? I mean, it's also known as the Magic Girl Fight. It's girly, and like more on the heartfelt side, we have Sleepless Night in Ponyville, which is Adopted Sisterhood. It's girly, guys. Get used to it. You've watched this show for 5 seasons now. Well, 4 seasons, but it's girly. Get used to it. You should be used to this by now. But what happens in Season 4? I would say there's a shift, and it's because of episodes like Bats. And I mean, Power Ponies? Like, these aren't girly episodes. Where are the girly episodes? Where are they, I ask you? And, you know, they come in later in the season, like Pinkie Pride and Rarity Takes Manhattan and Simple Ways and For Whom the Sweetie Belle Toils. But we're losing something here. We're losing kind of the really light comedy-based girly episodes. And we're getting these ones that are serious, still girly, but as you can tell, the girliness is kind of fading out. And I'm kind of saddened by it. So, oh well. The question now becomes is, like, when across the seasons, I would say the trend is becoming from more girly episodes to less girly episodes. So, the show is getting less girly as we speak, and I'm pretty sure it's continuing into Season 5 as well. So, is this a problem? Well, I would say the optimal level of girliness was achieved in Season 1 and Season 2. I'm sure some of you would like it to be less girly than that, but I was drawn into the show because of that contrast with the girliness. So, with this juggling act of the tones here, we still have the heartfelt episodes, and we still have the epic episodes, but we still don't have the girly ones. Where are the girly episodes going? I feel like they're being phased out. It's almost like we can't do girliness anymore, even though it's still a show for little girls. So, I mean, where does this all put us? I mean, well, this show with the girliness thrown in is, I would say, a whole lot more interesting than the heartfelt and epic. And it also matches kind of what Lauren Faust's vision for the show was. I mean, Lauren Faust, she wanted to create a show that was girly and good. And more specifically, good not despite its girliness, but because of it. I mean, and she does this brilliantly, and the whole show, like Season 1 and Season 2, it's really girly, but it's also really entertaining, and it's also really epic, and it's also really heartfelt. It's a beautiful mix. So, am I saying that now we can't enjoy Season 4 and Season 5 because it's less girly? No! But I do want to point out that we should be asking ourselves these questions. It is a girl show, and do we appreciate the girliness in it? I mean, the question is, how girly is MLP, and how girly should MLP be? And I've answered this first question quite clearly. It's a juggling act in between this girly and this epic and these heartfelt tones and vibes that underline the show. And it's been kind of getting less and less girly as the seasons progress. But how girly should it be? And I would answer that, and I would argue that it should be as girly as possible, because I truly believe it's the girliness that makes this show epic, that makes it heartfelt, that makes it hysterical and super funny to watch, and most importantly, it makes it unique, as all the other shows can be, many shows can be epic and heartfelt individually, but how many of them can be girly and use girliness as the funny glue that holds the entire thing together? Anyways, that's all my thoughts on it. Bramble Shadow 4 logging out. But wait! You disagree with me! Leave a comment. And make sure you make it an argument. The difference in between an argument and an opinion is that with an argument, you have reasons and you try to back them up from the show. But seriously, if you want to comment, let me know. And I also have a few questions for you guys about kind of the main points that I've discussed here. Is the tone of MLP girly? Has the show's tone been getting less girly, and is MLP's girliness a strength or weakness? Looking forward to seeing what you have to say in the comments. I'm Bramble Shadow 4. Goodbye.